How's it going, ScrubGamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames and another deck profile going over a requested deck for me to cover, because I think it was back in a video previously, the Kidku versus Gogeta stream video that I put up. Someone asked for a deck profile on it, so here we go. I'll give it out because the list has since changed since I used it at Cardiff. And this is a deck that I've thought about using because I needed to think about a different deck to run for the fest events, because I already ran red and blue for Leeds and Nottingham, and I want to try something different. And I didn't want to try green because the only real green deck is King Cold, so it was between yellow and black, and the deck I was enjoying more was this one, so I went with it. So start off with the lead. It is a leader we haven't seen since it's back from set 6. And the first real leader to incorporate skill-less cards, because we've had skill-less since the start of the game, but we never had a good way to use them or benefit of using them until really this leader came out to give us a good use of them and be the first skill-less deck. Because most games have a vanilla beatdown kind of deck, and back in set 6 we finally got one in Kidku, and it's quite unique as well because it's got a lot of flavour in the fact that it revolves around using the 4-star ball, and as you know from the anime, is the Dragon Ball that means the most to Goku, because it's one of the Dragon Ball that his grandpa gave to him or left behind after he passed. And yeah, it's a really nice, it's a really fun deck, very aggro, and you can be flexible with it as well. So, but before we get into the deck profile, I do want to give a shout out to DBS Deck Planet for being the best and only deck builder in the game, with a dedicated team and creator that just keep maintaining it, making it so it's great to use for all of us players, and updating it with loads of features that are really beneficial, like in the import to untap so you can test it, the export to PDF deck list that you have to write out yourself by hand, and things like Draw Simulator and Content Creator View, which are helpful for testing it and for videos for people like me. So with this deck, so we'll start off with the fact that it is a mono-black deck, which when this first came out, there wasn't really possible to do a full-on black deck back then. I think there was the Migra, but it wasn't until a little bit after they actually got power booster support and anniversary support and things like that. And so most of the time when you're playing this deck, to incorporate the skillless stuff, you would incorporate another colour. So there was mainly blue and yellow were two of the more popular ones. There was one that incorporated red, and there was never really a green one because green has always been the testing and weakest colour out of the bunch because of just how Bandai don't support it and put all the gimmicks in it. So after getting loads and loads of sets, we got more and more black cards, and I think it was after set 7 we were able to properly get mono-black decks, and now we can incorporate this into a mono-black as well. So with the list, starting off, the leader. So we'll go with the leader a bit. So on the front side, it's just a 10k. It's a just black Saiyan only leader and a Goku. So that's beneficial for some of the cards in the deck. And first of all, we've got permanent, which is similar to the Android 17 permanent back from set 2, where you can awaken at a higher life instead of the standard what the awaken says. And in this case, it's if you have a skill-less battle card in your drop area, you can activate the awaken skill when you have 6 or less life. So a nice way to awaken at high life to keep and very easy to trigger as well. And then with the drawing on, it does have a draw on both front and back, and from the front side it's got that very nice flavour to it on this effect, where activate main once per turn, you reveal one 4-star ball from your hand. So just like the 4-star being connected really heavily to Goku, you reveal the 4-star ball and you draw a card and gain 5k. The great thing about that is you've got draw without having an attack because it's activate main. So going first, you're not like most leaders, they have to attack the draw. This has the benefit when going first to just be able to reveal the ball, draw a card, and giving that 5k boost is handy. Where if your leader awakens quickly or very early, you're not put out of it having to combo to push for damage. You get that built in with the effect. And the awaken is a mid-range one where it's when you win life 4 or less, or 6 or less if you trigger the permanent, you untap one, draw one, and then flip over. So you still get to untap an energy, which is nice. And then when you awaken, you now have an activate main skill and an auto, which are both once per turn. And the activate main is an upgrade of the one on the front side, where now you still show the 4-star ball, you still do that, but now you draw 2 cards and then discard a card, which is great. And sometimes it isn't, so normally that is a +1, because you're drawing 2, discard 1, so 2, then lose 1. But sometimes that isn't a minus, because if you say you got like the Goku, which we're going to see in a bit, which can grab your 4-star ball from the drop, you can then go reveal 2, drop the ball, get the ball back, and you've lost nothing. And you've basically just +2. And then the auto is a nice way to incorporate the skill-less, because it's when you the first time you would combo a skill-less card in either player's turn, then it would gain 5k combo. So anytime at either player's turn when you would combo a skill-less card, it becomes a 10k combo instead of a 5k combo, or if it's got 0 combo cost, it becomes a 5k combo. Which in this case, it would become a 10k combo because we have combo power on the skill-less in here. So you get some nice draw on the lead, like without having to attack as well, which is nice. And you have good extra combo power from that auto when you awaken. So that is it for the lead, like a very strong lead, very fun leader, and it's nice that some of the older leads from like sets and sets ago are still viable and good to use. So starting off with the list, we play 5 of the 4-star ball, because you need it with your leader to get the draw on both sides. So we're going to play a full 5 copies, because you might be thinking, how can you play 5 copies? The limit is 4 per copy card. But with this, it's a Dragon Ball card, because each of the Dragon Balls have their own card now. You got the 1-star ball, 2-star ball and stuff that started coming out since the Wish arc started, or the Wish block, and they all have the keyword of Dragon Ball, which is a deck building keyword skill, where when building your deck you can include up to 7 copies of this card, or a card with Dragon Ball. So this allows you to have up to 7 copies, and we play 5 because you want to make sure you find it to get that draw, because it's required for your leader. So we want to have as many copies. And not only that, but it does also have an activate battle, where you can choose one of your battle cards or leader cards, and it gains 5k power for the battle. But if the card you're choosing is a skill-less battle card, it gets an additional 5k power for the battle as well. So in layman's terms, if you use it on a leader or a non-skill-less battle card, it's gaining 5k power, and that's added onto the card, not actually as a combo. So it's actually added to the power of the card. But if that card's a skill-less, it's 10k power it's getting added to it instead of 5. So very nice, very useful, and you want to try and see this turn 1. And then we have the unison of the deck. We only play 1 in the upgraded version, which is 4 copies of Son Goku and Vegeta Jr. Saiyan Saiyans. This is to help make use of the skill-less package, and also give us more aggression, because turn 1, if you go in second, you can put out at least 4 attacks to heavily push through your opponent, especially if they're a deck that wants to do things later on in the game. You want to push through and aggro them down. And it's got 3 skills. You mainly be using the second one, the -1, but we'll go over all of them. So you've got the +1, which is choose this card and all your skill-less battle cards to gain 5k power for the turn, essentially making this card and all your skill-less 15k base, which is nice. There's a -1, which you're mainly going to activate, is play up to 2 skill-less battle cards with entry cost of 1 from your deck or drop, and then shuffle your deck if you look through them. So mainly going to be going for deck, but if you don't have in your deck, you can be getting them from drop instead. And the skill-less cards we play are a Goku and a Vegeta. So we play 4 copies each of those to make sure we have enough targets, and we incorporate these because they're the Xeno Goku and Xeno Vegeta, meaning they allow us to incorporate the Xeno Gogeta cards to make for a nice little package. And the -2 is shuffle 2 skills cards from your deck, from your drop to your deck, and then draw 2 cards. So it allows you to get some draw. But as I said, the main thing you're going to do is -1, because you're going to be straight up playing it for 1 energy, swing with it, and then sacking off, use these -1 to get out 2 skills from your deck or drop, and then attacking with those to keep pushing. Then the next card, which is going to allow us to have a technically more copies of 4-star ball, is Son Goku The Adventure Begins. It does have 2 skills, but we're not going to go over the second copy, the second skill, because it's in this deck. It doesn't get it gets less value than what it costs, but it's more the activate main the first active main we're going to go for, which is once per turn, you can choose up to one skillless battle card, not skillless battle cards, sorry, one 4-star ball from your deck or drop area and add to your hand and shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this in a sense means we have technically 9 copies of the 4-star ball, because you've got the 5 actual 4-star ball and 4 of these which search for them. So normally turn 1 is what you want to go for, play this, search for the 4-star ball, then use leader, reveal it, draw a card for game 5k. So when you're having your opening turn, or when you're mulligan, when you're like opening your hand and if you want a mulligan, if you see both these, you're going to want to put the 4-star ball back, keep the Goku, because it's your turn 1 play to search for the ball, and adds that extra value. Or if you only see the 4-star ball, you want to just keep all of that. But normally if you see both, you keep the Goku. If you don't see the Goku, you keep the 4-star ball, because you need that for your turn for your turn to get the draw for your leader. And at the very least, after that, it's just basically a 5k combo or a black charge, and that's it. So that is it for the skillless package. And the other way to bring out skillless is with this one from the one of the anniversary boxes, which is Son Goku and Android Bonds of Battle. So there's another way to bring out skillless because of its auto, where if your leader card is basically this leader, because this is the only leader it works with, you can choose up to 1 card from your life, add it to your hand, and then play up to two skillless battle cards with 10k power from your deck or drop area, and then shuffle your deck and look through it. So that's very nice. Just like with Silence, you can bring them out. It is 1 energy dearer than Silence, but it has a bit of a better benefit in its permanent, where this card and skillless battle cards in your battle area can be comboed with in rest mode. So unlike Silence, where you can sacrifice itself essentially to bring out 2 skillless, this allows you to take a life to get more value and also help you self-awaken if need be. So like help you go from 7 to 6. To bring out 2 skillless battle cards, it does the same but gives you still 15k body for 1 extra cost. And then after attacking with these skillless, they're then still usable in rest mode to combo with, which is fantastic. And that is it with like the skillless package and the main things you need for a leader. Now we have the super combo. So we go for S as Vegeta to bring strikes back, because this is a more beneficial super combo, one of those lot of super combos we've got in set 11, which make it a lot easier to manage hands, because the fact that when you have 4 or less, it gains 10 and all your energy is black and your leader is black. It gains 10k combo, and then you can choose 1 card from your hand, put at the bottom of your deck. So normally you're going to be putting back to the bottom of your deck a card that is not useful, that you don't need or can't combo, back to the bottom of your deck, and then draw 2. So it allows you to put things back in your deck if you want them back in there, and then draw 2 new cards, which is fantastic. Which is like, it's better than just to draw 1 really, especially in this deck. And then we have an overall, main overall being Trunks Time Regulator. This is fantastic because of the fact that it is overall free, so you need 3 and drop, which is normally a Goku skillless, a Vegeta skillless, and any other card normally being like a Silence or something like that. So it's very easy to overwhelm and get the Gogeta stuff easily set up. And its also is very helpful as well because it gives more draw. Because when you play this card using overwhelm, you draw 2, then warp 1 from your hand, so you get the filter through, and even allows you to put stuff from your hand to your warp that you want in your warp. And we play full 4 copies because this is nice, especially because it's 15k power, which helps you pressure awaken leaders as well. And now we go into the Gogeta cards. So first one we have is Gogeta Fearless Fusion. This is your barrier removal, because as I say in every deck profile, every deck needs barrier removal, because there's some cards that have barrier that are hard to, like just really irritating, very annoying to, and put like a kind of condition on you that harms you quite a bit. You got the slug that stops you from drawing. You got the Goku that puts an extra cost on to use extra cards. So using a 4-star ball to give power, it costs you more. And other battle cards that have barrier that are hard to interact with. And this is a nice way to, for just 1 energy, remove things through barrier. It also is a blocker and 16k as well, so it's quite nice to help defend if you need be. And 16 powers is a good power to have. And it's like with the rest of the Gogeta cards, they all have the permanent wear. You can choose battle cards from your warp when using this card's union skill by placing them from your drop area to your drop area from your warp. So it means that we can overwhelm with a Goku and Vegeta skillless in our drop, and then you can put them back from the warp that you just sent them to the drop. They use the union skill on these Gogetas. And this helps you get through barrier because of his auto, where when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and warp it. So we play 3 copies for that fact. So it's just there to help with barrier. If they don't have barrier, it's only going to be a charge or a combo. Then we have the next one, being SS3 Gogeta Marvelous Might. This is a nice one because it's 20k plus has barrier, so it's hard to interact with, and also makes use of this Goku Vegeta. But you do, for this Union Fusion skill, just like with Furious Fusion, you do need 1 black energy, but you need to have 2, your opponent needs to have 2 or more energy, so you can't drop this turn 1. So once they've hit their turn 2, then it's live for you, which is good. So it means you can't really drop this to turn 3, but it's just there as an extra target and more later in the game to help push more pressure. And it's got an activate main worth 1 black energy. You place this card at the bottom of your deck, so stopping yourself from milling out if need be. And playing those 2 1-drops, being 1 Goku Zeno and 1 Vegeta Zeno from your warp or drop area, so to get some more swings. It's just there to help for pressure if you need be, and another way to get a 20k swing and 2 10k swings and get these from the warp. And it's just an extra way to do that, and also put more back. Is also another way, if you already have forting out or don't have the ever Gogeta, to put more back to your warp, from your warp to your drop for overall. Then we have the last one and the best one, being S3 Gogeta Fort in the Dark Empire. So this is probably the best one out of the 3, because the fact that, well, it's a 25k double strike for a fact. It has the same cost as the other ones for Union Fusion, but also had added benefit where if you don't have an overwhelm and want to overwhelm so you can play on the others, in overwhelm 6 for 1 black to overwhelm. So sometimes you might not have a way overwhelm in your hand to put the Goku and Vegeta from your drop to your warp. So you can always use this to the overwhelm, and then it allows you to play one of the other 2 because it has unique to make use of that Goku and Vegeta now in your warp. And it's nice removal as well. It's a main source of removal because of his auto. When it attacks, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and sets it as warp. So that's removal. We play 4 copies of this because this is such a powerful card. There's no reason not to play 4. And then we have our secret rare, being Pan Time Patrol Maiden. So this is the better secret rares really, because normally you would probably go between Nis and Kai, but the thing is with Kai is that it costs 1 energy to play, and then it costs another 1 energy to use the effect, whereas Pan is free to play and only costs 1 to do a very nice thing that you don't normally do. And this can be used for free offensively or defensively. So it's got a counter attack where if you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand, and then your opponent can't attack with battle cards for the rest of the turn, and then you can activate this card's counter skill for the rest of the game, which is fine because you wanted it for that one time to use. And it's not going to cost 8, it's going to be free because it's first permanent, where for each battle card in either player's battle area, it's reduced by 2. And since you can spam the board with loads of skillless and loads of battle cards, like for cheap or for free, you can easily get 4 on the board to make this free. And it doesn't reduce it during either player's turn. To a certain player's turn, it reduces just any point as there's 4 battle cards on the board. It's a 0, but just reduced by 2 no matter whose turn it is, meaning you can either use this defensively for its counter attack or offensively just free play a 40k and swing with it. And then it's got an activate main, which is 1 energy. You move this card from the game, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, and take control of it. So that's quite nice to take certain things that you either don't want to have on board or to swing with this. Swing with one of their cards. But it's mainly just a nice defensive option or more aggression for free. And then for the last 3 battle cards, we've got 2 extra overwhelms that are utility. One being Secret Identity Mass 10. It's not that difficult to get 6 and drop for this. And this is nice extra removal because it's 25k, which is a sweet spot, because at 25k your opponent has to use a super combo plus something, a 5k, which means they're still losing 1 card from hand by using a super combo, or using 2 super combos, which they're then wasting 2 super combos on a 25k because they're over comboing and losing 2 of their cards that they only have 4 of. And it's nice helpful removal because when it's played using Overwhelm, you can choose up to as many opponent's battle cards, add up to a total cost of 6, and warp them, so you can get rid of all their tokens and as much up to 6 energy as you can. And the other one being SS4 Bardock fighting against Fate, so a more aggressive one. So similar to, Secret Identity is the removal option if you need be, and Bardock is the aggression because it's got dual attack, meaning you get 2 swings to 25k, and for the same Overwhelm cost being Overwhelm 6, and the same power. So that's nice new additions. And then the last battle card we have is the Korsakai, Mechanical Courage. This is nice to help deal with floodgates, where if your opponent's going to drop a floodgate and you can have one of these live, or even both of them live, you then punish their hand for trying to defend. So you're essentially saying, if you want to defend my flurry of attacks, you're getting punished by losing your hand. Because if it's just activate main for 1 energy, remove this card from your drop rate from the game. You can place up to two cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw that many that you put back. So you put 2 back, you draw 2. Put 1 back, you draw 1. If you didn't put anything back, you don't draw anything. And then for the rest of this turn, if your opponent will play a 20k or less battle card, they warp 2 cards from their hand. So that's really nice. And you can easily put this in the drop, thanks to your leader's effect. Just reveal the ball, draw 2, and then discard a card. So when you want this in your drop, you keep this in your hand, and then as soon as you want it live, you just use leader's effect, discard it, and then trigger from your drop. And that is the last of the battle cards, and we only have one other extra card apart from a force double, and that is the token negate we recently got in support of the Dark Empire. So this is handy because, well, you can awaken to 6, but if you take a life, normally your life goes from going down to 7 from your opponent sacking your leader, and on your turn 2 playing the Son Goku and Android 8 Bonds of Battle to put yourself to 6 so you can awaken and getting your skill-less out. And then if you after that, if you can either do another one to put yourself down to 5, and then if you get down to 5, the support of Dark Empire is live. And if you just use 1 to take a life to negate attack and get a token, you then use super combos alive, so it's only really that first attack you're waiting for. But this is just nice in the fact it stops 2 attacks, and with Power Burst, you don't really want to use a Power Burst to take a life to get 1 attack and get back a 5k combo, or a Koitsukai if it's in your warp for some reason, or there's nothing you can really use as beneficial. Like with Power Burst, it's nice to get things like the a negate back, which we don't have, or a card that can be more than just 5k combo power, which we don't have. So support of the Dark Empire is a lot better in the fact that it negates attack and plays a token that has blocker, and that token also has combo power. So that's the great thing in that the negate will negate 1 attack, and the blocker will come out and be able to block another attack if need be. But if you don't use the blocker or the token to block an attack or anything for that turn, it's then 5k combo for you to be more aggressive with in your turn. Or if if they have something that allows them to bypass blocker, you can still use combo off for that attack. And the reason why it's free is because it's permanent, where if you realize at 5 or less, you can activate a counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by taking a life instead. And normally you want to stop people from putting you down from 5 to 3 using a swing at double strike when you're at 5, and put yourself at 4 to have your super combos live. But that's a new updated list. I've tested it a little bit. I am happy with it. Because the only difference is I put these last 4 here. That's what they're after, and it's not as in order as it should be. I normally like to put it in order. But these are the 6 changes I put, which is taking out 3 of the Kai and 3 of the Pycon, because with the Pycon and Kai, I was normally deciding about every game, they're putting things that were useful for certain matchups, and also they didn't really, unless I saw both, I would normally charge one or the other because it's easy charges, and they weren't as beneficial. Some of these could be, like Koitsukai is very handy, and these 2 overwhelms are handy depending on the situation. But that's the main list. I also do have a side deck as well for people that want to try it and take it defense. So for my side deck is 1 extra copy of Koitsukai, because it's such a strong card. Like I would like it to be banned, but then that's just my opinion. Because I feel the card is way too unfair to punish people that are trying to defend. Like people have cards in their decks that help them defend a turn, make it easier to not die to aggro, and then you got cards like this, which then basically punish them for trying to defend themselves, which is a bit unfair. Then you have Gogeta is the only really black card that helps deal with like blue counter things, which is mainly just D-Magic and Blue Baby with its extra card it's got. Well, some of the counter skills it's got. Just a 1-drop cantrip that has barrier. Then we got Petrification, like a great card to help deal with on-play ults. The only real card anymore in the game that's legal to stop pending ultos, which is fantastic. But then since under 18 mil is no longer in the format, this is not more for like U7, so when it gets out with the Goku, you can stop it from attacking and triggering its effect as well. But you won't be able to stop its minusing your board. Then we have two Meki for decks that are very obvious and one track, like Red Broly, Gogeta Zeno, like just calling Gogeta 6. They can't play any of their fusions if they haven't got any on board. And against Broly, you can just stop their swap chain, and they can't go any further than say that the 4-drop, which is not great for them. Then we got Super Kamehameha, which is a nice way to counterplay Floodgates, and also can be played for free because you just need to be at 4 life with all black energy, which is really handy. Then we have Dark Power Black Mass Saiyan, which is an extra 1-drop to help deal with. It doesn't deal with a lot of decks, and it's easy answer, but against decks that it can be beneficial, like King Piccolo and stuff. And that's to try and get this out turn 1, basically punish them if they try to do what the deck wants to do, and also as extra self-awakening if need be. 2 Max Power Kamehameha. This is a good one for both its effects because it's either a negate or removal. Because we've got in the set 16 over Realm of the Gods, every color got a Realm of the Gods extra card that allows them to remove things that on their opponent's board that harden energy cost. And like Black's one, I don't think it's helpful really, because it's sure you can use it defensively, but you don't want to be using extra cards defensively really, because they cost energy, and most combos like in the deck that you've seen are just 5k. They don't cost anything. So this is more in the air for removal. Like you normally use it for its activate main, where you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, which energy costs are greater than their current energy, and warp it. But it has utility in its negate, where sometimes you won't be able to find or have a overwhelm to put the Gogeta and Vegeta in your drop to the warp, and that's where this counter attack comes in, where you negate the attack. Then you can send up to 4 cards from your drop area to your warp, and if you do, get this back in your hand so you can use it for your activate main. And you can't use it again for the negated attack, but you normally use that effect to negate the attack, send the Goku and the Vegeta to the warp plus 2 other cards in your warp in your drop to the warp. So now they can be returned on the next turn for one of your Gogeta players. So it's really handy in that. And then the last one we have is SS4 Bardock Tenacious. This is just a helpful one where if you are getting if you're getting aggroed down and you feel like you need something to deal with aggro to just stop from being attacked too many cards but decks that go wide, you have Bardock Tenacious, where it's just overrun, but it does require 1 black energy, but it puts a Nimbus effect on your opponent because of its auto, where when this card is played using overrun, your opponent can only attack with battle cards once during the next turn, meaning that they get just Elite Swing, Unison Swing, and battle card swing. And if they want any more swings outside that, they got to play more unisons. And that's just a nice helpful thing. And being 25k, it means you can get at least swing with it after you've played it, and put some pressure on your opponent, while also make it easier to defend. It does have an auto that says you can't, when you play this card, you can't play another copy on your next turn, but that's fine. You just need it that one time for that swing, just to aggress, not take too much from your opponent back, and then aggress again. And that is the full list. That's the full list, including the side. Feel free to comment down below if there's any changes you make, or any questions you have about the deck, or any suggestions. I might not have thought about everything in the deck, and I'm still trying to improve on it slowly because I really do enjoy this deck. So if you've got any suggestions or ideas, feel free to drop them and I'll consider them and even discuss it with you, so I can get a bit of discussion to get to a mutual point, or just find out the benefits that I might not see. Also, feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it and you found it helpful, and like the description of all the cards and reason behind the choices. And lastly, feel free to subscribe as well, because that keeps you updated with my videos, especially if you click the notification bell, which gives you an alert when they do drop. And it helps get my goal of 1,000 subs, where I'm currently a third of the way there, being at free as far as I remember at the moment. Once again, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.